Hello again, this is Steven. It's been a while. Now, the reason I haven't been posting videos is because I'm not really playing Review Starlight Relive anymore, and to be clear, that's as in to say I never play Review Starlight Relive anymore. I've given that account away. But I've been really, still to this day, enthralled with Uma Musume Pretty Derby. And I've not really found time to make a video, but also the videos themselves I feel like are going to be really long because, you know, the way I play is more like a kind of a let's play style. And this game can take a while to play, especially if you go through the events and actually read them. Obviously, it's in Japanese. I can't read them, but still it takes campaigns take somewhere between, and this is on the low end, probably like 30 minutes to, if you watch every race, you play every music video, it can take upwards of 2 hours. So those videos aren't really bite-sized, but I've kind of gotten encouragement from viewers and members on the Discord to do it. So what I'm going to do today is we're just going to do a basic run. We're going to be training Daiwa Scarlet, who's one of the, actually the original horse girl that you start out with in your first ever training. And we're going to make what, you know, those of us who are more into the game would call a mile runner. Now, what does that mean? Well, mile is right here. You'll start to get used to these terms like short distance, mile, medium distance, long distance. Right now, all we're considering is that I want to focus her on mile distances, which is kind of on the short end, and I want her to be someone who's at the front, just running at the front. I could tell you why, but that would go open a whole other can of worms. Right now, I just want you to know, before I even start, I have an idea of what I want to train her for. That's real key to doing well. Now, the thing about this game that obviously, when I was playing Review Starlight Relive, wasn't a problem is, well, how do you read this stuff? And what I have pulled up for you is something that will be really useful. It's on Game Tora. Huge shout out to them. They have this thing called a training event helper. You can just Google Game Tora training event helper. It'll pull this right up, and you just select your supports. We'll see those in a second. Right now, we're going to select our character, and what happens here is like so she shows up down here. Daiwa Scarlet shows up here. We're going to see these types of choices along the way. Okay, so things that, because I'm an English speaker and not a Japanese speaker, I wouldn't be able to read. But now we get to see the consequences of those. So we're going to use that to help us. That's why it's called Training Event Helper. Now, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to pick Inheritance. Now, remember when I was saying I wanted to be a mile runner? Well, that's going to teach me, or that's going to encourage me to do some specific things. Now, since she's going to be mile, stamina is really not that big of a deal. Mile's more like Kentucky Derby length. It's a pretty short race. But you do still need to have some stamina. So what I'm going to do to compensate for not training in stamina very much, I'm going to inherit stamina. So stamina is this one right here with the heart. You'll get used to it the more you play it. I'm going to just kind of pick out this one right here. Maybe we'll see what anyone else has. So I just want maximum stamina. Boosts and other stats are pretty nice, but stamina is what I really want. So it's really between this Simboli Rudolph or Narita Brian. I don't really have a preference, so I'm just going to pick Narita Brian, and if I run into problems, I'll see if changing it will make any difference. Next, I'm going to choose, because I can only choose one rental. This is going to get more complicated. But I just want you to think, I'm choosing horse girls that will give Daiwa more stamina just by being her parents. So now the next goal is get some more stamina. So I got so Tokai Teo here is going to give her 33 more stamina. 12 power is nice. I wish I could get more stamina. But if that's the best I can get, the 33, that's what I'm going to go with. Looks like that probably is going to be the best I get. And I know my horse girls, so I am going to just go ahead and assume yes. So 33 is the most I'm going to get. So these are her parents. I've got this 2 circles inheritance. So that means I'm going to get the most out of these stats. You'll see them. I'll point them out as we go along. Again, just to keep things pretty simple, you want to choose stats that you'll want to get every single year just by having them as parents. So because we're going to have stamina covered, and again, we're not really focused too much on stamina as a mile runner, we're going to be picking a lot of speed. Now, how do I know this? Well, besides my own experience, there's also this really good tool. It's a reference put together by the folks at the Uma Musume Discord. I'll have their link below. But they have some, I can't think of the word, suggestions for how to go. So there's a support card tier list, which is really helpful if you're trying to re-roll. But what build should I do for X distance? Let's go down there. We're doing mile, okay? So one thing it says is borrow MLB Kita-san. That's something we're going to do. So MLB Kita-san, I found someone as friend. I can go into that, but again, this is going to make this video even longer. But then it says, then use 4 of your best speed cards and 1 power card. So yeah, I'm going to use my 4 best speed cards. I'm going to pick a Tokai Teo. I'm going to pick Gold City. I am going to pick, let's see who else, Shinko Windy. I'm going to pick Narita Brian. Now I do have a couple other choices. I could pick Biko Pegasus or Gold Ship, and actually there's an argument to be made for picking Biko Pegasus. I don't like Biko Pegasus as much because she provides skills for short, and she's also harder to get to Rainbow, and you'll see that in a second. But she is considered a better card, but for my purposes, I'm going to stick with Gold City. Lastly, I'm going to pick a power card. That power card is going to be Nishino Flower. Where are you? Where are you, Nishino Flower? There she is. Okay, so I've got these support cards. So I'm going to go back to the training event helper, and I'm going to put in these cards. They're going to have events that are going to come up, and I'm going to be able to know what to do because of the folks over at Game Tora putting in this training event helper. Let's see. We're going to also bring Kita-san Black. We are going to have, let's see who's next. We're going to have Narita Taishin. We're also going to have Shinko Windy. And lastly, we have Nishino Flower. Okay, so those are our choices. And we're going to be referring to this quite a bit along the way. Now, we're ready to get started. So, let's begin. The first thing that's going to happen is I'm going to get the stats from the inheritance. This is the first year of 3. And in each case, I get the chance to inherit. So I should be receiving 63 plus 33. I should be inheriting about 96 stamina every single year. So I should expect by the end of this about 300 more stamina than I start with, not including the other stamina that I might pick up along the way. So I've already got 177 stamina. If I pick up any more stamina, that's good. My end goal, again, to the people over at the reference tool, I want to have about 700 stamina. That's pretty high. That's the ideal. I don't really have the cards for that. But 1200, I definitely want to aim for. 900, I also want to aim for that. These are the orders. So, like down here on the screen, on my phone screen, you have the speed, you have stamina, then you have power, then you have guts and intelligence. Okay, intelligence we probably want to have about 400. They say that's okay. I do like to have around 450, but 400 is okay. And we'll pick that up in specific ways. But the thing is, because of the support cards, the way I've chosen my support cards, they're not here. They're speed and their power. Okay, 1 power. But the fact of the matter is I'm going to be focusing on speed and I'm going to be focusing on power. And then the rest I'll try and fit in along the way. But the skills I want to, or the stats I want to focus on are those 2. So when I begin training, I want to choose more frequently than others speed and power. And when you first start out, your cards are going to be scattered all over the place. In fact, they'll stay that way. You want to get them up to orange. So you see up here how Nishino Flower, she's at blue. Okay, we want to get her up to orange, so that would be like 4 ticks through. You'll see it grow along the way. That's our first goal. And then if we can focus on speed and power along the way, that's how we're going to proceed. Right now, though, I want to get her mood up, because increase in mood, increase in stats, and really, I'm not seeing a huge concentration of characters, support characters, on any one training. And I want to get probably 3 if I was going to use a training this turn. So we're going to hit this button to get a date. Increases her mood. It would have given us some energy too, but our energy was full, so we're staying the same. Now I'm going to take a look again. Speed and power both aren't really that great. I could choose guts here, but because I'm not focused on guts, I'm actually going to hit date again. I kind of got a bad draw this time. So now we're up to maximum mood, and at this point I'm going to keep going. This is also not very lucky. Gold City gives 20 energy. I was at max energy, so I miss out on all those boosts. Man, this doesn't look like it's going to be a good run, but we'll still see it all the way through, just so you can see it. So while I would like to choose speed, guts here, I have 2 support characters on guts, so I'm just going to pick that one. And if you look up here, you see there the bond gauge is what it's called, goes up. We want to get that to orange as soon as possible. And so the more we have of support characters on one specific training, the better, right? Because you can increase more of them along the way. So speed, we have 2 here. That's pretty good because it's also on a speed. The more you click on something, the better you'll get at it. So we have 2 on each one. We'll go speed because we want to have a bias towards speed and power. And now in this turn 6 here, we have 6 turns remaining. Oh, before I do that, okay, so here's a random event. We have this character up here. I know it's Meisho Doto. You don't really, probably, if you're new at the game. That's not any one of my support cards. It's not Daiwa, any events. So there's this quick lookup tool here on Game Tora. You'll find Meisho Doto. I know this, so I can go to it pretty quickly. And here's our first example. So since we see this thing right here that I'm clicking on, it's the first of her events. So I have these choices. I can click the top. I can get energy and plus 10 in guts. That's pretty nice. The bottom is just hugely random, and it gives a very likelihood of giving me minus energy. I don't like that. I'm going to stick with the top one because the more energy that I have, the more I can choose trainings and the more I can increase support gauges. It still doesn't get me quite to where I'd like to be, but because I did get that plus energy, I think I'm going to be able to pick this speed training this turn. Going to cross my fingers, hope I get it. Right above it, you might see this 9%, and if you haven't already, you should look at it. That's the chance of failure. So about 1 in 11 times I click on this situation, she's going to fail, and that's going to cause a mood down, might even lose some stats. It's awful because it loses you a turn and you take a step backwards. So usually if it's 10% or more, I'd stay away. Here, it's a speed choice, which is good. I have 3 characters on it, which is also good. And so the 9% is right on that border. If this were like 2 characters, I wouldn't do it. But because it has 3 characters, I'm going to. And she pulls through. So that was one of the 10 out of 11 times. So we lucked out there. Now, before I rest here, that's how you get your energy back primarily. That's the green button here on the left. I'm going to check intelligence, and I do have 2 on intelligence. If I had a better chance of success, I would have chosen this, but because it's 14%, that's what I'm talking about. I'm not going to risk that. Okay. Again, we're not very lucky here. We got plus 30 instead of plus 50 on our energy. All right, but we got now an event with Kita-san. So I'm going to click on a Kita-san picture. This isn't, if you look up here, it's not one of her normal events. It's one of these random events here. The chain event, I'm sorry, is what it's called. But a random event, and I'm just comparing the kanji and the hiragana. It's this one right here. So I can choose speed plus 5 or power plus 10, or I could get good practice. Good practice means decreased training failure rate. That's awesome. I'm going to take that. All right. That also increases our bond with Kita-san Black, which is awesome. Okay, so we've got 2 on speed, but I'm still going to check the other ones. All right. We're going to go on speed again. I'm not choosing intelligence, even though it's low, because, again, I'm focused on speed and power. And I just got to level up on the speed, which means I'm going to get more speed when I choose it. My end goal is to get up to 1200. If I don't get a lot of choices on speed, if my level's not high enough, I'm not going to hit that goal. Okay. Again, we're below this kind of halfway point up here on energy, which means our failure rates can inflate pretty quickly. Right now, if I choose speed again, it's a 29% chance of fail. That's terrifying. But this time when I check intelligence, even though the failure rate's 0%, no one's really going to help me. So it's not as helpful as I'd like. So I'm going to click on this one. Again, not the luckiest run in the world here. We did get a nice random event here. I know this one, but because you're watching, and we're going to go, this is Osusume no O, and then I don't know what the last word is. So I can either get guts and motivation. That's the mood here. She's already max. Or I can get speed and power. When it comes to these, I know I'm focused on speed and power. I'm going to be training in speed and power, so I'm going to be getting those stats as I train. So I'd like to pick guts, but because it's just plus 5 for guts, I'm going to pick the top one just because it gives me more stats. But normally, I'd probably want to focus on the random events. I'd like to pick up stats that I'm not training in, and we'll see more of that as we go along. But right now, we'll just take the speed and power. Okay, so it's 2 trainings left before our debut race. That's this number up here. And man, let me tell you, for those of you who are new at the game, you don't know this, but those who might be familiar with this game, I'm getting screwed. But we're going to pick power this time because it's got 2 support characters on it. Again, I'm below half, but I'm kind of close to it. So if something really stands out, I'll take a look at it. 2 characters on power really isn't enough for me, but 3 characters on intelligence, especially with a failure rate of 0%, sign me up for that. I definitely do want to have higher than G plus intelligence for my debut race. Okay. For debut races, as long as you don't do things really terribly, you should do well. You should get first place. Sometimes you won't. That's RNG for you. Things sometimes just don't pan out. But you can still make a good run out of it sometimes. But if it doesn't work out, that sucks. That's all I can say. Okay, so now I want her to be a mile runner. Right now, she's showing up as a leader. That's what these things are. So if you click on this green button here, it'll show the different running styles. I kind of talked about it on my first video. Right now, we want her to be a runner. That's the person who's at the front the whole race, and she just tries to keep that lead. Okay. Now I'm going to click on this white button that unlocks when I've done the race before and won it. And it just skips the race for me. She won by 6 lengths, so she's doing pretty well. So even though we're getting screwed, we're doing okay. And we'll see if things pick up for us. Now this is kind of where I stopped in the last one, but we've got so much more to go. That's just the first race. That's the debut race. We have 2.5 years still in front of us to improve Daiwa Scarlet to make her the Ichiban Uma in Japan. So I'm saying, I know that's kind of awful to say that, but that's what she says. So that's why I said Ichiban, but I don't normally do that. Okay, so here we have 4 characters on speed. There's a failure rate of 3%. Though I like those odds for that kind of return. But before I do that, I need to do another race. I'm sorry that I chose kind of a complicated character here, but She has 500. This number here represents the number of fans we need to get. So we need 502 more fans. And the way you get that is by doing races. So we'll have to find a race along the way before these 16 turns are up to get her fan number up so she can qualify to participate in her next race. Right now, I just want to train in speed. She rolls the 97% part of the 100% there and passes, and things are going well. Okay, this is a common one. All right, this comes right after trainings, but let's see. It is extra training right here. Okay, so if you want, you can take another 5 energy away, and you'll get +5. So in this case, +5 speed. And it will also increase your bond with the president. Right now, I don't want you to really worry about the president. But we have, at the bottom, we can recover 5 energy. So really, you're choosing between 5 more stats and 5 more bond with her, or do you want to have 10 more energy? Okay, because taking away 5 or getting 5, it's a choice of 10 energy. I'm going to take the energy back, because maybe there will be an intelligence choice on my next one. Before I choose that training, though, I'm going to have this event, and then I'm also going to look at races. So this is a chain event. Again, looking at those arrows at the top. So I have the choice between 10 energy and motivation, or I can increase my speed and get this skill. I don't really like this skill. I can tell you why, but that would make things longer. I'm going to take the energy. Again, we're kind of working our way back toward halfway, so maybe we'll find something nice to use it on. But let's take a look at races. Let's see what we could do. We could do one right now, but we kind of want to aim for G1 races, or in this case, a race we haven't earned before, which would give me gems. If you're familiar with Review Starlight Relive, that would be... Did we call them gems? Star gems? Yeah, star gems. This will give us jewels, carrot jewels, which you use for pulling for characters. So I'm going to select that one, and if it ends up being a good time to do it, that'll be great. If not, we can always back out. So I'm just going to have that there to remind me. Doesn't look like we did quite enough to make any of those other trainings very viable, but we do have a 0% failure rate on intelligence, and we have 2 characters up here. So let's go ahead and train in intelligence. Again, I know because it's in Japanese, you might not know what's going on, but as long as you have kind of the basics down, you'll do pretty well. So again, on speed, we have 3 characters. I'll take those odds. And we've gotten our first character to orange. If we see her show up on speed, she's now going to give us rainbow, which is going to be an increased boost to that particular training. All right, before I rest, I'm going to take a look at intelligence. It's got a failure rate and only 1 character on it. Finally, we're getting something to go our way. We got 70 energy instead of 30. Okay, so this was the day for my race, but let's take a look at our choices. Ooh, 3 on speed is hard to pass up. So we're going to go ahead and choose the speed. Maybe we'll get the race another time. Okay, so let's take a look now at races again. We could do one today. We've done that one before, but not this one. All right, so this is what I was talking about. So Kita-san Black is giving us a rainbow, so increasing the stats we get on this particular training. Also, we have 2 other support characters with her that aren't at orange. So this is actually looking like a pretty good choice. Still, I'm going to take a look at the other ones and see. And here on power, we have 3 that aren't at orange. While Kita-san Black gives much more stats, remember my first goal is to get everyone to orange. So I'm going to choose power. Now, if that were on guts, I'd have more of a hard time. But because power is the other stat that we're really focused on, it was a pretty easy decision for me. So again, we've got 2 on power. That's looking like a pretty attractive option. That's the one we're going to go with. Okay, so we got some event going on, gave us some speed. That's nice. All right, so I'm below half energy, which means it's probably a good day to do the race. And intelligence isn't that great an option. So I can choose to rest or I can choose to race. I'm going to go ahead and do the race. And actually, we're going to get our first opportunity to see Daiwa Scarlet in action, the Daiwa Scarlet we've been using. And I was going to show the race at the end, but because of timing, this will probably be the only race we see. And I'll kind of skip through it a little bit. Actually, I think I can do a pretty good job of skipping through it. So we'll still have the race at the end. I'll show you the race at the end. For this one, because we have to watch it. All right, skipping forward. Her unique skill, perfect. She ended up winning. Awesome. So we definitely got our fans there. We got 30 carat jewels along the way as well. So now we can just focus on training. Now, because I raced that turn and it wasn't a normal scheduled race, I'm going to lose some energy, but I'm going to get some stats in as well. Okay. All right, Teo gave us some energy back. It probably isn't enough. Looking at the log here, some stats. So we got, our mood actually went up, but it was already maxed. We got 10 stamina. We got 46 skill points. And it looks like we got, oh, this is something I learned. We got more to the bond gauge for the reporter. And I'll point her out when we see her, but let's take a look at intelligence here. No, that's not worth it for one character. All right, a normal rest sequence. All right, Shinko Windy, her first chain event. We can choose speed 10, or we can take away 5 energy and get 30 skill points. This one's actually not the easiest one in the world to choose. I'm fairly confident I'll hit 1200 speed, so I'm going to take the skill points here. 5 energy for 30 skill points isn't bad. Okay. Let's take a look. 2 on power again. Just 1 on speed. So we'll take the power. Power also gives us some stamina, which is a nice boost to the stamina we're already inheriting. Again, we want to have it at 700. Probably pretty doubtful we get it there. But okay, so this is the reporter here. Okay, we got 15 when we did that race. So if you ever need to get her gauge up besides choosing her option, you could do a race. All right, so looking at our options, 2 on speed, we'll take that one. Sometimes we have some trouble connecting. All right, second chain event for Shinko Windy. She gives us a skill as well as some stats. We'll take a look at some skills in a second when we get to our first race. All right, let's check intelligence. Now's a good time for it. We've got 3 on it and 2 that aren't orange yet. All right, so New Year's. You'll get this one memorized after a while. But New Year's, for the first one, if I choose the top, I'll get 10 intelligence. If I choose the bottom, I'll get skill points. Or if I choose the middle, I get energy. That's pretty much the one you always want to choose. If you don't, like let's say I had maximum energy here, you probably want to take skill points. But I'm definitely going to take energy. And before, she was below half, and I'd have to risk something to train. Now I don't. All right, 1. We have 2 on power. And we have, yeah, so we're going to do the 2 on power. That's annoying. It happens. Intelligence, we have 4 on it and a chance of failure of 12%. I'd like to raise my mood, but I don't know when it's going to happen. And I don't want to use up the turn. 12% isn't the worst. I'm going to choose to do it. We got through. Perfect. All right, so here comes our mood up. Perfect, so I didn't have to do the date. We'll check intelligence again. This time just one person on there. Let's go ahead and rest now. All right, we're getting back some of the energy we lost from the start. So things are starting to kind of normalize, and it's not as bad as a run it was started out to be. Okay, 2 on speed. We have 3 on power. It's a choice between speed and power here. I'm going to take speed because it's going to give me 2 more orange characters, which is awesome. And this one, well, we're going to get bonuses. The reporter isn't as useful as the other characters, and that leaves me with just 1. So it's a choice between 2 and 1. So all things considered, I'm going to take speed here. All right, I believe this is a G1 race. We'll see. No, it says G2. So I think we're actually pretty fine without choosing any skills. When you get to your first G1 race, it might be useful to take a look at your skills. Looks like this is going to be a grudge match between Daiwa Scarlet and Vodka. For those who watch the show, you know that's a big deal. We'll see if she's able to hold her off. Yep, she got number 1. Where's Vodka? All the way down at 4th. Bummer. Vodka, you could do better. Vodka, Team Vodka for life. All right. But, you know, obviously while I'm training Daiwa Scarlet, I'd like her to win. But Vodka should be like 2nd. Come on. All right, see, notice that because that was a scheduled race, I didn't lose any energy. So just be aware of that you're not really in danger. All right, some more. Yeah, so this is why I didn't really choose the date, because sometimes you'll get these random moods up. You'll also get the random moods down. But sometimes when you're still up, it might be useful to just keep training rather than using a turn on a date, because it's important to get your characters up to orange, and obviously to get stats, you only have so many turns. Okay, so we've got a random event with Narita Taishin. So I'm going to pick her. This one is Shinaide at the end, so I could choose this skill, which is for long. She's a mile runner, so that's not very useful, so we're going to take the skill points. All right, we've got 1 turn. We got 2 on speed. We'll call it 1.5 because it has the reporter. And we've got 2 on guts. But this is also the president, who's kind of like the reporter, but she's more useful, at least at the end. So we definitely want to have her green by April of next year. Right now, speed is definitely king in this run, so we're going to choose speed. All right, so here's our next inheritance event. Remember the whole point of the start of this? So Narita Taishin and Tokai Teo are her parents, which means they're going to give her natural stamina and some power, and actually looks like they boosted her middle distance. So all things considered, maybe at the end of this I'll use her for mid distance. But still, the purpose of this is for her to be a mile runner, and that's how we're going to treat it. This is definitely a G1 race, so we're going to take a look at skills. Now, you might be like really intimidated. I know I was. Again, you have Game Tora. You can look up skills. I have it already here, but just do Game Tora skills. I've got Bing. You can use Google. Okay, Game Tora skill list. You're like, why would I search by skill name? That doesn't really help. Well, let's say we look. Well, Shadow Break's kind of one of those. But you could look at this one here, the Bokuda at the end, which is definitely from Teo. We're going to leave that check all on, but we're going to get rid of these skills. We're going to focus on this particular skill because that's the type. And then we can just look for it. Okay. And when you first start, again, this is going to be kind of intimidating. But when it's one of these skills, it's going to be kind of in purple. And we can find it. eventually down here, Bokura at the end, it's got a comma and then Bokura. This is compelling content right now, I'm sure. It's the bottom one. So it's going to be me. Increase the speed and last straight when chasing someone close to the lead. Okay. Now, the other thing that you could use here is this. If you don't, so this is what they'll tell you what is. But then if you want to know if it's even a good thing, you could go into the reference here and go down to skills. There are conditions, green and purple skills, blue. Yeah, so like green skills are like these ones here because they're green. Blue skills, I don't think. We have a couple, okay. And then we have red and then others, but they're also, yeah, so down here we can go into like the types of rankings. So like generic orange rank skills. So you have all of these types of choices that you can choose from. An important thing to look at are these things here at the end. They'll tell you what kind of thing they are. This is medium distance, this is mile. Let's see if this is a good mile skill for Daiwa Scarlet, because we're making her a mile runner. So I have runner skills, but I also have mile skills down here. Okay. So mile skills, let's see. Gear shift. Oh, I scrolled down. My bad. Oh, no, I didn't. It's down here. Okay. Gear shift. It's good for runners and leaders. That's what the R and L stands for. That's awesome. I'm going to pick up gear shift. This one also is a very good skill. This gold one, that's one from Kita-san Black. We'll pick that up later. Actually, we should probably... We're not doing them out. Let's go ahead and just pick it up. I don't know. I think we're okay. This is a mile race, I believe. I think we will be okay picking up gear shift. So I'm going to do that. How are we doing on time, by the way? It's probably already 30 minutes. It's already 37 minutes. This is going to take a while, guys. All right. So now we're going to race. She's actually second, so it's good that we picked up a skill. That probably helped her against the favorite, who was probably Vodka. We won by 1 length, so awesome job, us. We get more fans. That's useful for increasing your unique skill. We'll see that later. But usually it's just good to win your races. I mean, that probably goes without saying. But losing your races is also not the end of the world. All right, so 2 turns before the Oaks or the Derby. We're going to pick the Oaks, by the way, because it's shorter. Gold City gives us more energy and stamina. That's very cash money of her. Okay, so we got 2 on speed. That's really hard to pass up. I'd have to find something really compelling, and I don't. I know we don't have Nishino Flower or Tokai Tail at orange. That can happen, and Narita Taishin is not even green yet. That can happen a little bit later. Let's just pick up the speed for right now. That's just getting 2 rainbow on 1 is hard to pass up. All right, got some more intelligence. Okay, so we get Nishino Flower. All right, 2 on intelligence. Let's go ahead and take the intelligence here. Get Tokai Tail to orange. And now I get to choose between the Oaks or the Derby. We're going to stick with the Oaks because it's shorter. I don't have to worry nearly as much about stamina. Let's take a look here again at this. Will definitely be the favorite. So, oh, the Oaks is still 2,400 meters, huh? Maybe I should have done the Derby. It gives more fans. Okay, next time you do Daiwa Scarlet, you should probably do the Derby. I think it might be a harder race, though. You'll definitely go up against a really good vodka. All right. Here we go. Number 1 again. Ichiban nandakara. All right. So she got first. We're up to 50,000 now. That's great progress. We want to be at 60,000 by Valentine's Day, 70,000 by April Fool's Day, and 120,000 by next. These are all next year, but next Christmas, in order for her increases in her unique skill. And her unique skill can be really, really, really good. All right, 9 turns before the 3rd of the triple tiara, which is what Daiwa Scarlet's going. She has double tiaras right now. All right, Narita Taishin or Stamina. Let's go with Narita Taishin. The reason for that, although Stamina's nice, Stamina has a chance of failure. Narita Taishin, or the intelligence, doesn't. And she has this exclamation mark. That means she'll give a hint. Now, I really don't care about the hint that she's going to give me, but it increases our bond gauge with her even more. So we're going to get 7 bond just by training with her. And then we're going to get 5 more because she gives a hint. And with Narita Taishin lagging as much as she is, we definitely want to get as much from her as possible. Again, this is one of these extra trainings ones. You can look at it, the Tore at the end. I'm going to take the energy. Pretty much always take the energy. All right, more stamina from Gold City, as well as a nice skill, but it's not useful for Daiwa Scarlet. All right, let's see. Nishino Flower or Narita Taishin. We're going to choose stamina here again because Narita Taishin is so far behind, and she also has the reporter with her. Plus, it gives us some more stamina, just to kind of cover our butts a little bit. All right, during the summer, this is the chance. It can be really, really intoxicating to want to focus on your main cash cows. So here's speed and power. Obviously, probably not the greatest idea here because of the failure rate. But for me, pretty much all of my summers are spent hitting the books, getting the intelligence up. Because what happens during summer is all of the trainings are at level 5. So you remember when I was talking about the more you choose a training, the higher the level gets. Okay, so they all start at level 1, and if you click on them enough, they can progress all the way to level 5. Well, during summer, they're all set at level 5, and they don't contribute to the increase in level. So I'm not getting the same benefit from speed and power and when I click on them as I would otherwise, even though I might be getting more stats. So that's what I'm saying, it can be intoxicating. And sometimes if all your other stats are doing pretty well, it's not a bad idea to click on those trainings, or especially if they get a lot of rainbows on them. Because level 5 training is still a level 5 training. But certainly here, with the failure rate and also that my intelligence is so low and I don't really want to click on intelligence very much once all my characters are at orange, it's a good idea to click on intelligence for summer. All right. Narita Taishin's there. She's the last one to get to orange, but I'm not going to pick guts. It's not that useful right now. It'll be a little bit later, but 17% failure rates, not going to do it for me. All right. So again, intelligence here, and I think we're now up to half. I'm recording. Oh, okay. All right, so our first summer training is we get to choose between power and guts. This is what I was talking about earlier, okay? We're going to get power from our training. We're not really going to see guts too much, and we'll choose it maybe here coming up. But We want to get guts to 300 without really touching it, which is going to be a little bit difficult without using stamina training. Here we can get 2%. That's actually not bad. Yeah. Just don't fail it, okay? So we trained some intelligence, we trained some guts during summer, and we're not going to we're going to try and stay away from those moving forward. Okay, so we get a random event from Daiwa Scarlet. Starts Sui Sui. All right, so I can get stamina and intelligence or speed and guts. Ooh. I just took the guts. So we'll take the stamina and intelligence on the top. We didn't get the rising star status, which is a bummer, but still pretty good. All right. So Naruto Taishin's not an intelligence. We definitely want to rest. Perfect rest. All right, we have 2 on... Naruto Taishin's not even here. So we're definitely going to pick up the speed here. And now things are going to be pretty basic. It's going to be speed or power pretty much all the time until we get to next summer. All right, so that was just level 4, okay? So we're getting to level 5 on our own. Naruto Taishin showed up on speed by herself and the reporter. So we're going to get 54 speed from this as well as 24 power. So things are going pretty decently, and I just dropped my stylus. Hope that's not a sign. All right. Okay, let's take a look at this race. I don't think it's a very long race, 2,000 meters. So our stamina is really not going to be a big deal. We're the clear favorites according to the reporter, even though we are up against vodka. So we're going to have to kind of keep our fingers crossed here. Number 1 again. Let's go, baby. Vodka, 4th again. But Daiwa Scarlet really destroyed the competition, 6 lengths ahead. So just by running hard. That's all she's doing. Booking it from the start, and nobody can catch her. All right, so she got her triple tiara, which is a pretty distinguished thing to have. So that's great. Next, she's got the Queen Elizabeth Cup, which I believe is the very next turn. Yeah. All right, here's Teo to give her orange skill. Or gold skill, I should say. And what I'm waiting for, why I haven't chosen either of these, is because I have a chance of getting a discount on the prerequisite. So if I click on this one, I also have to take the silver skill before it. Same for Teo's skill. What we do have here is we do have a runner skill. Let's check if it's useful. Okay, I could tell because of this runner here. Let's see if it is a useful runner skill. Is it a good runner skill? Oh, best. Fast-paced right there. It's one of the best ones. Let's definitely take it. Because it's a discount. It's one of the ones that gives us cheap. I'm not taking either of these blue skills. This skill is not very useful. You could just look up the skill definition for it later. But these are for leaders, not runners. So making her a mile runner, so I'm not going to choose those ones. Makes sense, right? And then I'll keep waiting on those gold skills to get a little bit more attractive as we go. All right, how are we going to do here? We're the clear favorite on this one as well. I don't think vodka's in this one. All right, just eating them up. 5 lengths ahead. All right, so we're definitely well on our way in terms of fans. We don't really need to worry about fans again, just that one race at the start. And we can really just focus on getting our stats high. All right, intelligence and skill points. That's nice. That's a terrible skill. Don't ever take it. Like, don't ever. It's not good for anyone. All right, so our first event with Nishino Flower. Excuse me. All right, just double checking. So Narita Taishin isn't quite orange yet, and we only have one rainbow here. Let's go ahead and do power here. Get us some more power, as well as some nice stamina too. Right, some more intelligence, that's nice. All right, just one rainbow and it's 10% failure rate. That is not good enough. I'm going to take a rest here. Now let's take a look. We've got two rainbows and a 0% chance of failure. Definitely going to take it this time. All right, so it's a new year. Don't click on the same one. For your second new year, it's called a shrine visit. The top is the energy this time, okay? So again, if you're full energy, take the skill points, but if you're not, take the energy. We're gonna take the energy here. That's more than one training, so that's very, very nice to have. All right, so we've got our choice between these two. I could actually increase the reporter here as well, not to mention counting stats. It's just better. So we're going to take speed here. Nice. So the lottery gave us stats as well as most of our energy back. All right, so our second option, or our second chain event here for Nishino Flower, gives us our choice between these two skills. I've actually already passed on this skill. This was the one that Kita-san was offering me. I'm going to take the intelligence here and this skill, and I'll show you why in a second. And this is actually a big reason why I bring Nishino Flower. Let's take a look at our skills. So remember how I was waiting for a discount? Well, I've got a discount right here now, so it's cheaper. It's cheaper to take that option. So we'll pick that up now. Useful skill to have. All right, let's take a look. Double rainbow, 46 and 20 for the power. All right, so this is Valentine, so her skill gets boosted to level 2. That's awesome. Level 5 for that. Nothing really looking much better, so we're definitely going to take the speed here. Okay, power has rainbow, but it's at 11% failure rate. No shot for me. No shot. All right, random event. These ones are probably going to be tougher for you. I know who this is. But you could type in the character. This is Tamamo Cross. I could also, it's her rare version, but her super, super rare version is going to give the same choices. So here we have, just by looking at the first kanji, it's definitely this one. This is not a good skill. I just know that. We're going to take the bottom one. All right, last turn. Let's take, we have one rainbow here. Let's pick up some stamina and power. So this is another common event that everyone gets. It's the dance lesson. So I get my choice between guts and speed. No brainer, taking the guts. So I don't have to train it. Intelligence, by the way, is probably, I don't need to touch it very much moving forward. So it's really just guts and then stamina that I might want to be picking up on if I looking ahead. But let's just worry about the race right now. Clear favored again. So we're doing things right. We're doing things well. Even though these are medium distance races, she still has enough stamina to bust right through them. And plus, we're going to get our final inheritance event and get even more stamina. All right, so we're going to be in the Fall Emperor's Cup, or the Tennosho Aki next, which is a short race. Well, it's not short. It's a shorter medium distance race. All right, let's see what they have in store. Narita, Brian, and Tokai Tail have in store for us. I don't think that's a useful skill. We'll take a look at it. All right, so this is the April Fools. It's really the school festival one. You get a mood boost if you have green with the president, and also have 70,000 fans. Tell you what, we'll look at the skill the next time we get to a race. Right now, let's focus on, stats. All right, random event with Daiwa Scarlet. It starts Ano. Okay, so I have speed or guts. We know what to pick here. All right, that's 10%. That is, although that's a lot of stats, that's too high for my liking. All right, another random event starts with the number 1. Okay, I can get 10 energy and 5 skill points, or I can risk 30 energy and 10 skill points and maybe get -5 speed, +5 power, and get overweight. We're definitely going to go with speed. Or with the top one, sorry. All right, 3 rainbows or 1. Definitely going to go with the speed here. We might, and this happens kind of frequently, we might stop choosing speed because it's going to hit 1200 too soon. At which point we'll just try and pick power as much as possible. All right. Again, check. So it's Gold City. That's not a good skill. I know that. Also, it's for betweeners. So we're definitely going to take the skill points. All right, nothing's going on. We could choose intelligence. It does have a lot of people on it. But let's try and get the level of our power up. So we're going to choose power. Okay, so that's indicating that in 2 turns we're going to go on our summer break. That's not the best in the world, and we might get a really good option in a bit. So I'm going to actually rest. I mean, we missed out on 2 energy. That's annoying. That is majorly annoying. Let's see if this is worth it. No, but we definitely need to get rid of that bad effect. So whenever you see that bottom one, you pretty much always need to press it. Otherwise, it's going to keep getting worse. All right, so I could choose that. Actually, I might. Let's do it. Let's take the power. 4 on that one is impressive. In summer as well, when you rest, it gives you a mood up. So let's get our max mood so we get the most stats. Now let's pick guts. Now we'll take a guts. Let's pick stamina because that's going to be the next thing that we're working on. We'd like it to get up around 700. Right now we're on pace for 600 if nothing changes. All right, chain event with Naruto. Taishin, I don't think there's a choice here. No, she just gives us speed and stamina. Nice. Looks like it's rest time. Sometimes this event will give you great choices. Bummer it doesn't this time. All right, let's keep working on power since we don't have anyone on speed. Hopefully we'll start getting more people on speed. Because that would be unfortunate to just not hit 1200. Where is everyone? Goodness gracious. All right, more stamina, more power. I think we are going to miss out on it. And that's unfortunate. We need about 240 more speed in 3 turns, and I don't think that's going to happen. Or wait, I think maybe we do have more turns than that. So we just need them to be a little bit more consistent. We could be a lot closer if it weren't for that stupid headache or whatever she got. Beat vodka to the ground. All right. Now this is kind of turning into a horror story. We're past an hour. The future videos like this should be much shorter. All right, please be speed and 2. That's awesome. Hmm. 50%. That's definitely not worth it. That's obnoxious. I mean, at least we got our mood back up, but... we're just going to have to risk it. Maybe. Maybe we'll see if we get better. No, we didn't. She's got insomnia right now. That's what's going on. Okay, because it's now the end of all of that, we're not going to get a chance to really get this a discount. So now I'm going to take the gold skill. And this is a long distance one. It's like the shortest a long distance can be. So it's only 100 meters long than the one she's done before. But luckily she has A in it. But she's still 4th most. We have to come in first. Nice. So undefeated. She won again by 6 lengths. All right, just one. Go away, please. Nice. Okay, and now we just have to hope for tons of rainbows. And maybe we get close to 1200. I'd like her to be at 1200. And in retrospect, maybe on those ones where I was choosing power, I should have picked speed some more. But it sucks if you build up speed and not enough power, and then at the end, you don't get a lot of power. All right, 2. That's decent. So maybe, you know, I had someone in mind for mile. Maybe she's for medium distance. I don't know. Just blazing through it. 2.5 though, that was pretty close. That's really not going to cut it. I do believe these are the finals. So we'll watch her this time. And I'll just get out of the way.
曇り空の下、中山レース場芝 2000URA ファイナルズ決勝18人の馬娘たちが挑みます。さあ1番人気の紹介です。サイレンス鈴鹿、この評価は少し不満か。2番人気はこの子チンボリルドルフ、注目のここまで無敗トリプルティアラの馬娘ダイワスカーレット、4枠7番での出走。
気合十分いい顔してますね。
各馬娘ゲートに入って体勢整いました。スタート。各馬娘揃って綺麗なスタートを切りました。
誰が先頭に抜け出すか注目しましょう。
先行争いはダイワスカーレット、サイレンス鈴鹿、桜爆心。さあ激しい先行争いで前に出たのはダイワスカーレット。激しい先頭争い、サイレンス鈴鹿外から行く。さらにその外からは桜爆心。さあ1コーナーから2コーナーへ向かっていく馬娘たち。サイレンス鈴鹿快調に飛ばして行きます。さあ期待に応えてサイレンス鈴鹿逃げる逃げる、早くも先頭。2番手の位置で先頭を伺うのは桜爆心。ダイワスカーレット並びかけてきた。1馬身離れてセイルンスカイ、5番手に18番、その後ろ1番、後から12番ジンボリルドルフ並びかけてきた。さらにはエアグルーヴ、その後ろにハッピーミーク、1馬身離れてメジロライアン、外には3番、向こう上面に入って先頭からしんがりまでおよそ12馬身。先頭集団を見ていきましょう。現在1番手はサイレンス鈴鹿、続きました桜爆心。1馬身差ダイワスカーレット、4番手セイルンスカイ、5番手18番12番並びかけてきた。それを見るようにジンボリルドルフ、そしてその内を回って1番、少し後ろからエアグルーヴ、そしてその外ハッピーウィーク、1馬身離れてメジロライアン、それを見るように3番、すぐに続いて17番、1馬身離れて6番、まもなく第4コーナーカー
ブ。ここからスパート、一気にレースが動きます。
まだ先は動かない。これは直線勝負になるか。中山の直線が短いぞ。後ろの子たちは間に合うか。サイレンス鈴鹿、
優雅に勝たせてもらうわ。
ダイワスカーレット、ここで抜け出したダイワスカーレット、突き放せ。200を通過。サイレンス鈴鹿追いすがる、リンドを開いていく。ダイワスカーレット、ダイワスカーレット逃げる。ダイワスカーレットずっと か言えない走り。次のレースが今から楽しみです。ダイワスカーレット URA ファイナルズ決勝を制しました。今ここに優秀たちの頂点が誕生です。2着サイレンス鈴鹿、3着シンボリルドルフ。
やっぱり私が一番なんだから。
I would do let's turn this down. I would do the concert, but I'm going to let you finish the game. Get that concert for yourself, the Uma Musume. But in the interest of time and also the fact that it would change the screen orientation, we're going to move forward. I'm disappointed, but I'm still proud. Daiwa Scarlet did really, really well. Won every single match. Or race, I should say. Looks like we probably maxed out everyone. Yep. We just didn't get the 1200 speed that we were looking for. It was probably because we didn't get enough of the everyone up to orange soon enough. It was kind of closer to like the... We were still in summer and had, I think, someone in blue, maybe. But certainly a strong, strong horse girl. Let's take a look at the choices for what we have. There's a lot of skill points that I can't use because there aren't really good options. We'll definitely pick that one up. And I mean, she's not going to be she might be chasing someone down sometimes, so we'll take that one. But she's not going to be coming on the outside very often. She's not going to be passing 3 people in the final leg very often. Is that Summer? It looks like it. So that's actually something we do want. And maybe we'll take that one away and I don't know, find something. I don't know. She's not going to be used in the Cancer Cup, which is what that's for. And we got 158 points, which is just an unfortunate number. I think that's Hold Your Tail High. Maybe not, though. It might be a trash, but you know what? I don't know of anything better. All right. So we've now finished Daiwa Scarlet. We'll see how she gets ranked. B+. I'd say so, too. Strong B+, but not really an A. Which gives intelligence and inheritance, which is So I'm definitely going to be redoing her. But now you can see how someone who's pretty experienced with the game plays the game. And I hope it helped you. I wish I could say, you know, be back for some more relive PvP action, but that's not the case. Come back later and we can, you know, or join me on Discord. We can talk things through, especially if you have any questions about the game. But I hope you look forward or enjoyed this, and let me know if you look forward to additional videos. See ya.